On November 8th, this country has a big decision to make, perhaps the biggest in its history.
Perhaps the biggest decision in its history.
Maybe the biggest in its history.
Perhaps the biggest in its history.
You might think that your vote doesn't even count.
You may think that your vote doesn't matter. You might even think that your life does not matter.
But that's not true.
But how can we prove that to you? We don't have many famous people in this video.
We don't have any famous people in this video.
Ah, that's right, no famous people.
Yeah, and without the famous people telling us who to like and what to like, they must think that we don't know how to think.
But we believe that you are important to this nation, not just as people to make money off of.
And we, as fellow citizens, we are able to gather information and think for ourselves.
Do you know that Mexico is tightening security along its southern border, so Central and South Americans cannot enter their country illegally?
Well, I knew that, even though I'm not famous. I also knew that our government, under President Barack Obama, gave the Mexicans $75 million of U.S. taxpayers' money for Mexico to improve their security. And the Mexicans already have very strict and brutal policies to enforce their security.
Do you know that Hillary Clinton and Senator Obama, they both supported building a wall on our southern border 10 years ago?
Wow!
Yeah, well, I guess it's convenient for them to blame Trump rather than taking responsibility. You know how politicians are.
And here's another one. Do you know that Hillary Clinton supports the Trans-Pacific Partnership, TPP?
The Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement, it's not only a bad trade deal like NAFTA was, which took away millions of jobs from Americans. It will also take away our sovereignty, the ability to govern ourselves, and will subject us to international law.
Whoa! That's really scary!
Well, it's very hard to believe someone who makes a living acting like someone else, isn't it?
I can't just act like millions of veterans are receiving the medical care and the resources we need and deserve.
And we can't just act like securing the border and enforcing our immigration laws is a racial issue. What has race got to do with it anyway?
A person's race doesn't give them the right to illegally enter our country and break our laws.
So I just can't act giving away millions of jobs to illegal labor is going to help me feed and shelter my family.
And I can't just act like I don't see the millions of Americans living on the street homeless while we spend billions of dollars on supposed refugees. And we can't just act like people who say they want to kill us because of our faith or sexual orientation don't mean what they say. So, your vote cannot be bought by a celebrity or by famous people. Here's the last one. Excuse me, do you mind if I take this one? Be my guest. Did you know that under the Obama-Clinton administration, the unemployment rate for black people rose from 8.7% in 2007 to over 14%? It's still in the double digits right now for younger blacks that are 20 years and older. Well, you know that's 2 for 2 now.
What's 2 for 2?
2 so-called black presidents who have done nothing to improve the conditions for black people. Black home ownership is at a historic low. Before the Obama-Clinton administration, nearly 50% of blacks owned their own home. Now it's as low as 41%. Now the Clinton Foundation is talking about creating thousands of jobs repairing the homes that people lost in foreclosure because the banks wouldn't work with Americans to keep them in those homes.
Well, that's great news.
Not really. The jobs that they're trying to create repairing those homes, they want to create for refugees and put them in those homes.
Not if we have President Trump. He's America first.
He's America first.
We're not famous. We're deplorables. And we live in the real world. And we plan on making the country great again under the leadership of Donald Trump.
Famous? Who are these people?
And I don't even know who these so-called famous people are. And I don't even know who those famous people were.
And honestly, I didn't even know most of these famous people.
Did you hear the mouth on that Iron Man guy? Didn't you think kids would be watching?
And who wants to see that buffalo guy naked anyway? And one more thing. I want to know, who is that guy that looks a little like a serial killer? What do you think?
On November 8th, this country has a big decision to make. Perhaps the biggest decision in its history.